No, thank you. This is Zuneha from Girls Care Foundation, Jamshedpur. We have come up with another interesting session as we believe in sharing technical knowledge and content for helping individuals in the programming world. The topic for our event is application of machine learning. It's a 3-day event including live project implementation on cricket, Google Colab, and predictive analysis. Our mentor is Anurag Sinha. He is currently pursuing his master's in information technology and is a true standout in this field. He has a great understanding of machine learning and has published approximate 20 research papers in Indian and international journals. Now, I would like to hand over the mic to our mentor. Sir, you may continue.
Yes, good evening. Has everyone joined? Should I start?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is my voice audible
Yes, sir.
completely
Yes,
and
sir.
clearly? Okay. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So our today's topic is we are implementing machine learning in field of cricket. As we know very well that in today's data science era, machine learning and artificial intelligence is everywhere, right? In each and every field of in each and every field of life sciences, whether it is literature, history, bioinformatics, life sciences, in each and every sector, we can say the machine learning is being implemented. And so our today's session is completely based upon we will see that how we can implement machine learning cricket for prediction of its winners, for the prediction of the total scores, and how we can create a good data set uh, for by using the historical data of the test matches and IPL, and through that, how we can get insightful graphs or analytics, you can say a visualization using those data sets, and can create the insightful analytics and visualization. We get a good data visualization through which good predictive decision can be taken. Right. So in our it is bifurcated in the three session. In today's session, I will show that how exactly we create the data set. How exactly you need to uh, create the data set for such analysis from very basic. What are the packages of the Python would be required to implement this project, and also I will also show you that how we prepare a data set using Python, right? and what are the variables and what are the parameters should be there in the data set. And in the second day, by tomorrow, which is tomorrow I will implement the algorithms of machine learning on those data sets to create a model and to validate the model, that how we can implement several kind of algorithms on those cricket data set. And in the third, which is the last session, which will be our last session, in that session I will show you how we can explore. It's a completely exploratory data analysis session, which will be the last day. On that day I will show that how we can mine the useful insight and get a good analytics over the algorithms that we have implemented. So it will be a complete approach to, you know, as you all are freshers, most of the most of you are the students of first and second year or third year. So the intention of this session is to give you a G's that it's not limited to cricket. Whether if you are doing any kind of project in machine learning, so what will be the exact process? Because almost all the predictive analytics projects are of its same nature. And you can take this topic, you can implement n number of things using not only limited to predictive analytics, you can implement n number of things using machine learning on the cricket data set. So this is are the training and depending on will be third, and today I will show you how to prepare the data. And tomorrow's session, I will show you the modeling, like which ML algorithm we should use, how to split the data set, and how we train and test the data. So, as far as the cricket and machine learning is concerned, I will not take too much of time. I will show you, but how you prepare the data set. Machine learning can be used to predict the cricket match scores and winners, so and so things. So, there need some kind of attributes and features, which is taken into consideration. Those features are what I will show you. I will tell you when I will, show you that how to prepare a data set. What are the column and rows would be there, which will be act as features, right? So we can say in today's 2021, cricket prediction using machine learning is one of the interesting. Has been the interesting domain for as well as industrialists or for the students as well. N number of projects you will get when you will search this topic on the internet, and that will be very very helpful. And you can implement your own some new algorithm and get whatever your intention of. So this is one of the field of the machine learning, which is very interesting and in trend, we can see in today's world. And you can also use R programming. It's not Python. But I will show you all the analysis and all the implementation in Python. But yes, R can also be used if you know the R from scratch. Then you can use the R programming for such analytics. If time will permit, then I will show you a very small portion and final projects that how we can use R Studio or R small R project to get analytics. Is my voice clear?
Yes, sir, but little low.
Little low. Now it is okay.
Yes, it is okay, sir.
So there are several links over through which you can collect your cricket data set. We have the Brick Sheet, or you can collect it from GitHub as well. And I have also prepared one data set I will share at the end of the session. And you can also collect some cricket data set from SPM cricket info. There are n number of, you can also collect the good data set from Kaggle itself. So there are n number of sources. UCI machine learning repository is also there to collect the data set for machine learning project. So there are n number of sources available for collecting the data set, but it's up to you that what is your requirement and what you can really implement. So accordingly you decide the data set. See, before choosing the data set for machine learning, your intention should be clear that exactly what you want to do. It's not that in a nutshell you are doing each and every. No. Your intention should be, if your intention is to predict the scores of the IPL 2020, let's say IPL 2019, IPL. So you can take the historical data, you can collect, and you can prepare a data set, and you can predict the score by using some basics machine learning algorithm, which I will show you that how we will use one or two of them, like linear regression or random forest, which is a very basic for implementing. There are a number of algorithms, but as a fresher, for a fresher, it will be a easiest approach to go for the linear regression or random forest or systems. Right. So for this particular project, the packages which will be required, packages will say what will be the requirement for this particular, what you really need to have for implementing is first one, you should have a Jupyter. You can implement in Jupyter notebook any Python framework, and one package is, one library we can say is a NumPy. So NumPy is the library in the Python programming languages, which is used to support a large multi-dimensional array in matrices. If you are dealing with a large scale data set, then NumPy will be there, which will be very essential and which will be very helpful in creating the arrays in matrices with a large collection of mathematical functions. Then we have the pandas. Pandas, we can say, is a software library written in Python programming for the data manipulation and analysis. You can import the dataset, you can validate your dataset, you can operate using an ML algorithm, and you can analyze. Next is matplotlib. It's very trendy these days. It is a plotting library for the Python, and it's a numerical mathematics. So we somehow uses the functions of the NumPy mathematical functions. We can say is the extension of the NumPy. So it's uses from several numerical mathematical extension of NumPy, and it is useful to get insightful analytics or data visualization out of the data by implementing the some code. And the next is your R Studio. And as I have told, it's not in the list, but I am discussing R Studio. You can use for implementing. It's R programming, widely known as for data visualization and analytics management. So R Studio is an integrated development environment. You can install this packages from the, and it's a statistical framework for programming using the graphics, which provide the graphics framework, and it is a statistical computing framework, statistical computing framework. And next we have skip-learn. See, it's skip-learn. I don't know if you all are knowing or not. Skip-learn is, we can say, is a very useful and mostly used, when when it comes to implementing machine learning using Python, and it is very seamless in comparing all the other. I usually use this one, as you can see. My is my screen visible?
Yes, it is. Please continue.
So skip learn is, you can download it. from the website. The predominant feature for this framework is that you will get all the algorithms in your one nutshell with explanation with code, and you just need to do just using the same for getting what you exactly want. I just give one example. Just we click on the classification, and you can see there are n number of classification algorithms are already given. That what exactly you have to implement as per the requirement of it, and you will get a particular code for each and every type of test. K-nearest. See, here's an example of k-nearest neighbor clustering algorithm, and you will get this kind of code, and you can use this code. Just use your own data set and uh, change the variables that you want to get as per your requirement, and it will be it's very insightful, easy to use. So for machine learning implementation purpose, it's very helpful. Next, we have the Google Cloud Vertex AI. See, Google is always in trend to implementing the new approaches for AI and artificial intelligence. Vertex AI has recently been came into existence, and I have not used. I was just attending a Google Cloud Summit, for which I came across with it, and I think it's paid to have some subscription fees. But exactly what, how does it work? You do not need to write any single code for it. You just only to choose a data set, import the data set, and choose your algorithm or models which you want. There is a bifurcation is already done, whether your data is in image, whether your data is in text, or whether it is audio or video. You have to select the type of the data set, import the data set, choose the model, and automatically it will create a model and give you the result. So it's a very, let's say, key. You need, it's very beneficial when and very time consuming as well. So I have not used that, but I am going through it. If possible in future, I will say take another boot camp on WordPress AI itself, that how to use it. So this is the entire requirements that I have discussed. And frequently I am
Hello,
learning
sir.
it. Yes,
I was saying that your voice is audible, but it is not clear.
yes. Is my voice now clear?
Yeah, but while you start teaching it again, like it fading. So
Yes, can you order again?
yeah, I was saying that when you start teaching, your voice starts fading. So
Okay, and
please
now
continue.
is it okay?
Yeah.
Okay. See, in order to create the data set for your particular project, you need to have predefined set of columns which is required, which will be required to train, split, and test the data set. So what exactly would be there? So each data is consists of several different parameters, like when the match happened and where it is being batting details, who is batsman name, right? Total runs scored by the team, for instance of a victory, and total wickets for a particular instance that we can say, and their total runs, total scores, total. So there are n number of parameters which is required to prepare a data set. Quickly, I just see my screen is yes. This is a
Yes.
CSV file,
Yeah.
and this is yes. This is one uh, data implementation. So you can see there are several rows in points and like your events, match ID, bowling, batsman. So why I am focusing too much on this several data set is because see you have to handle data very very see this data set preparation is one of the you know typical tasks of the machine learning algorithms. How you are defining the things, what as per your requirements is very essential. How you are missing, how you are doing the feeding the extra data, which is the data is missing. How you are splitting the data, how you are implementing the data featured engine. It's very important. As we know, for instance, I presume that might be knowing the ML algorithms. We have some column should be there whose value should be in the form of zero and ones. And it should be a numerical data, right? Why is it necessary? I will tell you. I will show you in a moment that how to prepare a data set. See, see, we have a concept graphical data. In the step one, what that as we can as you all can see, I am highlighting. We have the multiple variables that can you know consist various categorical data in the form of strings, and that is going to convert this data into more usable form when you are implementing with algorithms, the machine learning algorithms, and there it will be used for feature selection. On the basis of this, your entire model will be validated. Okay. So the next two is a term called feature engineering in data preparation. What we exactly call as a feature engineering. So anyone can tell what is feature engineering in data preparation? If anyone know, you can send your responses in the WhatsApp as well. What is feature engineering? Is my voice audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Can anyone tell what
The
is
feature
feature
engineering
engineering?
is a process of extracting new features from the existing features so as to gain much more valuable insights.
Yes. What's your name?
Tejaswini, sir.
Oh, very good. Yes, exactly what she has told. We can tell we can tell the feature engineering we can, I just give you a very common example, right? The future engineering exam. Like, we includes audio and all tests that would easily just include in the tabular data with the millions of entries. With millions of entries. It means, suppose here you are dealing with the textual and categorical or historical. In terms of natural language processing, we have the unstructured data from any social media. Then we can arrange it and give some labels. And same in the form of deep learning, we have the data set, the image form, and we provide some labels for through it for extract the pattern, extract the features, and automatically reducing the dimensions of the observation that we get at the end of the implementation. So this is a whole engineering is the second process. So the step 3 is not very important, but yes, it is there. We can use those features and build a model which can predict if a ball, like we can say, I'm taking one assumption, if a ball will be a wicket or not. Are you getting it? This is that. So the intention of taking too much more valuables, too much of nothing, to provide the precision of the model which will be achieved at the end of implementation. So the first step comes, which is your getting the data and importing the data. As you can see in this diagram, just a screenshot of the navigation, just using the several libraries, and you're getting the data. But we are getting the data, but okay, we are getting the data. So first we need to prepare the data set of the kind of the data. How we will do that? And we will now we need to create a directory so that it can be taken, it can be implemented in the code itself. So we use the functions. We, in terms of when you are when it comes to importing the data in the Google Collaboratory, then you simply need to define and you simply need to, when you will run it, it will show you whose file of it. It will mount your Google Drive and your disk file with the Google Drive, and you just need to select the data and it will be automatically programmed. So now the using this function, we go to the directory. Now we need to move to the CSV. And in the second part, of our data preparation, it comes to handling the missing data. It is a screenshot of framework that how we can launch the, the spider application, all of you know. We we write this to import the data. But after importing the data, you need to import the specific libraries for implementation, which is your background. And the second comes the handling the missing data. It means that we can say in real time the missing data happens is quite a lot. You will get such kind of situation usually. But if we are finding the real time data set, like we can say in the terms of your cricket, if I will tell, then the preparing data uh, is, is nothing but choosing the best out of the variables that will be useful for the implementation and getting insights out of it. And luckily, we have the n number of framework, Python framework is available to do that. First, we need to divide the data set into X and Y variables. First, we need X and Y, here it is, X and Y variables, which is useful. It is used for writing and importing. And then you read the CSV file after importing the data on your frame. And here you can see that X that we have selected is defined as a sub part of the particular column, and and it is also reflecting that we are selecting all the columns except the last. And we can say for Y we have explicitly selected the fourth column, and the index is, and now it is comes a task to import the categorical data. Right now it is come to we categorize the data that exactly how we have to use it. But for your best of the knowledge, and when it comes to implementing our part, means we are creating the data, we are importing the data for implementation of the cricket data. So in to make the work more easier, we want all the data to be mobile, as as you can see. And uh, there are several ways to circumvent this. Actually, the easiest simple encode unique value with an easy value. Like most things, we can see that we can and it will predictive power of our model. That is, we can say the categorical data that we have. Is anyone saying something? Data will be the predictive power for our model. And we can say the more effective way would we use the technique called as I have to encode the categorical, and then now it comes to splitting the data set into 20 lists. How we do that? And uh, the second part, after getting the picture, now the task comes to cleaning and removing the redundant. How do we do that? Cleaning and removing the data. We basically need to get rid of any, we can say any n values that have appeared in our data. And we need to separate the, as you can see, the target variables that we have dependent, that our model is dependent, which will try and predict the insight. So the next is creating the new. It is very important. As you can see in the code, create variable that measure the runs of the vehicles in the last 6 months. Exactly how do we do create new variables for our data set. So I'm giving you one example. Imagine you are watching a cricket match. Okay? You're watching a cricket match with your friend, and you decide to place a bet on how many runs will be scored in the next over. Okay? And this information would we use to make this decision? So can you tell me what information would be used to make decision that what will be scored in the next over? What parameters we will decide this, that on how many runs we will score the next over? Can anyone tell? Would we weigh it all equally? Hmm? Is my voice clear to you all? Yes, I am audible.
Yes.
Yes. Can anyone tell this? What information would we use to make this decision? That on how many runs will be scored in the next? I even I am not the fan of cricket. I usually not watch cricket. I do not have any single connection with the cricket, and I can presume that many of the attendees have are means great fond of cricket and
Hello, sir. Sir, based on how many runs were scored in the last over or last 2 overs, if the run rate is like some run rate is going on, so we can say that then the next over also the same run rate will go. We'll have the same run rate. It is a way, like
yes.
this is
Can you
one
see this?
possibility.
Yes. Is there any other possibility? What the factor we would consider, like who is playing, who is batting, who is bowling, where they are playing, this sort of things, what pitch look likes, etc.
Yes,
So
sir.
we can
Those
also
factors.
estimate the runs scored based by analyzing for what type of bowler or for which particular bowler is the batsman conveniently scoring the runs.
Okay, so I am getting response from only 2 to 3 people. What about others? Exactly the same that he or she is telling it, he put it very that the data which have the run list and the run six balls is taken these all the parameters for deciding what I have exactly told. And this information is the sort of the information that we got in our and I have many data sets related to cricket score prediction and implementation. You can see the CSV file of the data set. Your implementation will not. So I will be sharing this zip file link. The app so anyone wants who is project will be coming will about to begin in the next upcoming semesters in major project, minor project, term paper, whatever there should be. You can take this topic, applications. You can implement several kind of things as per your interest using machine learning and Python for cricket, and not only limited to cricket. You can go for any sorts of sports that you like. It may be football, it may be hockey, it may be any other sport. Yes, the cricket is taken is just because because many of the questions are fine. It has a great form. So now coming to the point. So, however, we can say that we might also want to consider that the other factors such as how many runs do we normally score, and how well other players are playing the game or the recent game. Similarly, the probabilistic and the probability here more about the recent head-to-head result and those which happened in the historical data. And based on that, all this information is related to the data that we have got. But typically, this is and it should always be compatible with the features like uh, you know, defining this. So, in this sense, interest this session short just moving away because feature engineering data preparation is a very big part.
Sir, your voice is breaking.
Yes, now is it okay?
Yes, sir, it is okay now.
So, this week, so we can say the step one in the preparation of the data, the data features. We have seen that you also know when it comes to your into preparing and you all are I can see that and I know you're very smart enough in field of it can provide you know what important. So creating the variable that measure the difference and wickets is dependent on this that we have since one understand. Step three comes that we will with the later part that how we can training and testing the data and how we are creating some model. So in the latter part of the session, I am going to implement you can see this we have how we're splitting the data into two parts, which is a training and testing the data, and how we are assigning the several variables and the data type, which will be input in implementing the data. Next one is your feature scaling. So, as you have checked that the total run, how many kind of yes, are you saying something? So we have, as I have the data set consists of the various parameters. It's not related to this, but it's more of a dependent on your that exactly you want. Yes. This link I will provide you. This is a very good data set of cricket, which is, can be implemented. You can see that has provide the IDs, it has provide season, city, play, team winner, first decision. So you can see the how number of features people are connected to which of the time. Yes, is my voice or clear to you all?
So your voice is breaking in the middle.
1 minute. For connection. Yes, is my voice now clear to you all and understandable enough?
Yes, sir.
It is completely clear now without any glitch.
Yes, sir. Completely clear.
So we have seen that exactly what for parameters is legit to capable of providing all its data sets like today only. And in yes, in the tomorrow session, I will be showing this. In tomorrow's session that how we can make the see, we can do a number of things in machine learning, but as quite a limited time slot that we have, it's a 3-day bootcamp session. I will show you one or two things like how we can predict this, how we can predict the, how we can predict the result of any IP, okay, based on the historical data. And what algorithm we will use is totally dependent on it. But for the time being, the thing which I am going to, we will be implementing two algorithm, which is your linear regression and random forest. So I would want you all before tomorrow's session, please uh, take a brief for this algorithm. Like what is that? What is linear regression? What is the random forest? How it is used? If you can manage, if you have time, then you can also see. I will implement, but for a prerequisite and for better understanding of the conversation, you can go through the linear regression and random forest. It will just take half 15-20 minutes how it is used in Python. So we can define linear regression briefly as linear regression is nothing. Okay. Linear regression quantifies the relationship between the one predictor and one outcome. So, for example, it can be used to quantify the relative impacts of the age, gender, diet, height of the outcome. You can define the linear order by setting the values of coefficient used in the representation with the data. It's more of coming the next step. We use regression where we want to predict the value of a variable based on the value of another variable. In the very simple term, you just know that. The variable that we want to predict is called the dependent variable. And sometimes we call this an output variable. And the next we have the modified consolidated form of decision tree algorithm that we can say is your random forest. Anyone tell me what is random forest? Any of you know about it? If you know basics of machine learning, what is random forest? How we
Sir, it is one of the machine learning algorithm which implements the decision tree and gives out the results.
I see that only you are related to it. How many projects you have done in machine?
Sir, I have done only one.
So we can say the random forest or random forest regression is a random decision forest or an ensemble learning method, okay, which we use for the classification regression and for constructing a multitude version of the different decision tree for training and splitting the classification. So forest it builds an ensemble of decision tree, mixture of decision tree, usually trained by the bagging method. Bagging you can say the from you are from coming forth from the one who is adjacent, and it is the combination of learning models which optimizes the result. So as the system, as the session was to give you an insight laboratory we are using. So I just briefly want to discuss about Google Collab. Anyone know about what is Google Collaboratory? Can anyone tell? Which I will so this is a
So
Kaggle notebook,
it,
and
it
you
is an
can also
online portal,
observe
sir.
and implement the same task which you can do Jupyter notebook on your Google Collab, right? And you can also upload the other notebooks from here and also import the data set. And you can also upload a notebook from the other sources, from the other internet sources, from the other repositories as well. So this is the one of the most benefit things in the online applications. And in Google Collaboratory as well, you can connect the external node. You can also mount a Google Drive link. You can import files to it. As are moving towards the era of the machine learning and artificial, things are becoming more easy. Google has implemented a framework called Vortex AI in which you have to just only import the data and select the models and get your results. No need to write this much of code, this much of algorithms. So let's see in forthcoming years how many kinds of development are make it more efficient for the better of machine learning future sessions. So in today's session, this was very gist that I have to convey that what way we prepare the data, how it is getting implemented, how many which algorithm we will use, and brief about your implementation of machine learning and Python. But in the tomorrow's session, I will show that exactly how we will implement the models using several algorithms and is my voice now clear or it still it is have a glitch?
Sir, when you are showing the screen, then I think since it is consuming more data, so the voice is
See,
breaking there.
it's if this is a problem, then tomorrow onwards it will be taken care. Right, we can it's not limited to using those. See, our only intention to gather up over here on a virtual platform and just to share the screen, right? So it's not predominant that we can use if this is a create if this is a problem, if this is great, so then we can shift to the others platform like Google Meet. It's very I don't think like this kind of because usually I take class on Google Meet on the daily basis, and this kind of problem is not there. But I experience this kind of issues in Cisco WebEx. So from tomorrow onwards, what I will do, either I will be giving you speed from my mobile, or we will be shifting to.
Thank you, sir. And for tomorrow on, we'll just come up with something new so that there won't be any problem for
Yes,
tomorrow's web.
yes.
So can you please repeat?
Yes, did you tell something?
So I was saying that for today we had faced a lot of network problems. So tomorrow we might think of changing the platform so that there won't be any problem.
Yes, yes, that's what I'm saying. The intention is only to gather up and to share this screen. So why should not we move to the other platforms like Google Meet? Like, so tomorrow I will be showing you how we will implement the algorithms, right? And how will be used and how we getting a different data set and how can we extract the result of it. And in the third session, we will use some part of the data analysis and visualization using Python. And I will show one part of R Studio and R that what kind of analytics and how code can be written in R Studio and R programming. If you know the R programming, if you don't know, then you can learn if you are interested. But yes, I will show one part, just a single part, that how R Studio can be used for the data visualization. Okay, so uh, it's that's it for the today, and from tomorrow we will implement the algorithms.
Thank you, sir, for today's session. I would like to thank everyone for being patient with us as sir was having some network issues. Do fill the attendance form before leaving. And once again, thank you, everyone.